I don't know what is it, but there seems to be some kind of natural attraction between coins that are named after dogs or have a dog picture on them and the crypto community. Today I'll be talking about Shiba. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is King, a full-time trader and investor, and today's video is not meant to provide any kind of financial advice, and it's for pure educational purposes only. In here I don't promise you to be rich or that you're gonna make massive gains, but what I do is analyzing the market in a logical and educated way in order to help you understand what are the next steps that are going to happen. As you can see, my channel is still young and your support really matters. So if it's your first time here and you happen to like my content, please consider subscribing and smashing the like button. The more you do it, the more I'll be able to provide content like that. And now, let's go to the charts. So like most other cryptocurrencies, Shiba is a new currency and doesn't have so much history to talk about. But as you can see over here, I have broken the current structure into 3 different pieces. The first, the second, and the third piece. So let us start with the first piece, which was the initial rally that Shiba went through. So this one started around April and was the first impulse. It went all the way here until we've taken the recent hit in the market and the price started its correction. So the correction of Shiba is pretty clear because it includes one impulse down, a 3-wave running flat, which is the correction of the bigger structure, and then a second impulse down as well. Now what's very important to highlight over here is that between the first and the second impulse of the correction, we don't have any divergence on the MACD, and this suggests that the correction was over right at this point, which means we're not going to get further correction down. So we had an impulse first and then a correction, and now we're going into a consolidation period, which I believe to be the beginning of the new impulse that should continue going up. Now the most important section in the overall structure is this last piece, the current consolidation. Because if we zoom in to this consolidation, this is where we can spot signs to tell us if we are going to continue up further or not on this specific time frame, which is the 4 hours time frame. So after the initial correction that ended over here, Shiba took a small impulse up, pulled back, and formed another low. Now if we look at this low and compare it to the previous low, we will find the first sign to tell us that the trend could be going up from here. And this sign is that the price has formed a higher low. So if we take this was the last low and this is the current low. So the price has formed a higher low, and as I always tell you in all of my videos, this is usually the very first sign of reversal. But of course, since this sign is not enough alone, we need to look for a second and third confirmation. As you can see in this circle over here, I highlighted this circle, and this is the key point for us to confirm when the trend is going to continue up. Because in addition to forming a higher low, we'll have to form a higher high as well. And the last high stands over here around this yellow line. So as soon as the price goes up and breaks this level, that's going to be the first higher high which the price has formed. So basically we will have a higher low and a higher high, and thus the initial confirmation for a trend reversal. So what you should be looking for in order to confirm that is we need to see the price going and closing somewhere above this line. As soon as it does that, you can confirm that the price has resumed its uptrend. and because I always tell you that the market moves in either 3 or 5 waves. So next up, we should get another wave up in order for us to form the minimum structure that exists in the market, which is 3 waves that are impulse, a correction, and then another impulse. And once this impulse starts, it should at least retest and break the previous high over here, so we can confirm that we have a 3-wave structure on the bigger time frame. And now let us take a look at the daily time frame and try to see what are the next possible moves for Shiba. Now, despite not having a lot of data to judge, but I told you, in any market structure we should at least get 3 waves, and since we already have 1 and 2, we should be expecting 3. Now, there are few important points to highlight on the daily time frame. Number 1, in my custom oscillator over here, the price have turned from red into green. It is in an oversold area right now, and this is a good signal. It means that the selling pressure is reduced right now and the buyers are starting to take over. In addition to this, along with this changing color in my oscillator from red to green, we have an engulfing bullish candle that was formed over here. And this is also another good confirmation, good sign that the price might be heading up from here. So 1 confirmation, 2 confirmations, and the third one is the Fibonacci retracement level of the 0.786, where the price have been retesting this level multiple times so far, and it has been holding its grounds over here. And these 3 confirmations are more than enough to tell us that we are most likely to be continuing uptrend from here. All what we have to watch for is the breakout of this level on the 4-hour chart, and this should announce the resuming of an uptrend. But the important question remains is how far we should expect to go from this point. Now, because we had 1 initial impulse, it's easier for us to try to forecast what are the next steps going forward. So if we mirror the previous impulse and try to forecast that the price is going to go in a similar manner to the previous impulse, so we're looking at somewhere at the 0.0004, which is technically speaking is about 500% from where we stand right now. However, if you ask my personal opinion, what I believe is that because usually in any structure the second impulse is higher than the first impulse, it usually goes for way more. And since we had a very decent correction over here, so the price have taken a little bit of breathing space, so it could well go beyond this point over here. And since we are in a bull market, it is very possible to achieve more than this. Now, this is just a forecast based on the history. It's not a financial advice, and what I'm doing over here is just trying to look at the next moves based on what the history have done. But what we know for sure right now is that the price is at least going to retest this previous high and likely break it. But how far is it going to go from this point onwards? That's subject to how strong the momentum is, what are the general market circumstances, and how is Shiba fundamentally is doing at that time. So we can either retest the top, break it, and then come down. We can go way beyond this and achieve 1000%. Or we can just have a small rally after this top and then start a new bear market. So all the options are possible in there. But as I told you, what we know for sure is that we're going to retest this top and at least break it, because that's what has to happen in order for the structure to be complete. Now let me know your thoughts. Tell me in the comments below, how far do you think Shiba is going to go from here? Do you think we're going to achieve a lot of gains, or go maybe 1,000% or 500%, or do you not even agree on these scenarios? Let me know your thoughts. Tell me what do you think, and if there's any other coin that you want me to look at, please let me know in the comments. If it's your first time here, please consider supporting the channel by subscribing and smashing the like button. This was it for today, and until next time, stay safe and see you later.